free throws. Do you think Michael Jordan ever airballed a free throw?
I'm sure he has.
He has not.
I'm sure he has.
I don't know. Maybe there was one. I didn't watch every play he ever played, every free throw he ever shot. But I don't think Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan ever airballed a free throw. And now LeBron kind of does it on a regular basis.
He does not stop.
Okay, now back to... LeBron is the most interesting player in the history of sports to me because he has a force field around him by which every night drama gets created. I call him the drama king, and it's fascinating to watch. And he's still doing it in his 16th season. It hasn't dropped in interest because every game is an event. There's always a backstory, a subplot, something comes out of the games. But you keep waiting for him to take it back up to that level, and they got off to a good start this year. But I told you there were 8 games early in this year that were sitting on a platter for the king to close, and for whatever reason he didn't have enough help or he didn't have enough shooters around him, whatever. They didn't close those deals, or we might be having a different conversation right now. And then we saw him, he slipped against Golden State. He lost his footing, whatever, in the groin, whatever it did. Did it pull? Did it tear? I don't know, because nobody seems to really know, except one man knows, and that man has that groin in his leg. So I don't know if it's still troubling him, bothering him. I don't know. But then we saw him the other night, last Friday night against Brooklyn, 23 seconds left in that game, and he hit the accelerator on the baseline. They were down 3, and he was going to take it to the rack, which was great, and his feet went right out from under him. And it looked a little bit like an aging player to me. It wasn't a wet spot. Nobody talked about, even LeBron didn't make a wet spot excuse after the game. He just reached for a gear that wasn't there. And it was a little scary to me. Like the airball free throw is a little scary. And Brian Windhorst makes the point that a lot of players at an advanced age came to play with LeBron, especially going back to the early Cleveland days, one being Shaquille O'Neal at age 37. And Shaq had an awful year. And Windhorst said, I kept going to him after games. What's wrong? He said, I don't know. I just can't get the ball up to the basket anymore. And Brian's point was, sometimes you just hit a wall where you lose a half an inch on your jump or a half a step on your quickness. And you know how that is. You just lose it. It just happens because we're all mortal, and Father Time taps you on the shoulder, and that's the beginning of the end. So did we see that here, or can we go back to the LA syndrome? You and I have seen so many people come to this town, and it just devours them because it's so great here. It's just... It's the weather, it's the women, it's the houses, it's the beach, it's Malibu, it's Brentwood, it's Hollywood, it's Beverly Hills, it's all that. And I made jokes earlier about he's chasing Michael B. Jordan, which he's got a lot of irons in the fire off the floor. So did that start to take away a little bit of his focus and even his interest level in actually playing the highest level of basketball? Maybe. I hope not. I hope maybe this offseason, this is a shell shock now. This is, like you said, maybe this is what he needed to sit back. I mean, you're still committed to Space Jam, but maybe you need to decommit to some other things, right? Maybe you better get back to playing basketball. If you want this big bounce back monster year, I think you better make basketball your only priority.
But see, Skip, you mentioned that, okay, he looked like he reached for a gear, but he wouldn't have been able to get around him. It's that he went so hard that his legs just went out from under him. He has that gear. I give you prime and give you another example of 2 guys. Remember Peyton Manning? He played 14, 15 straight years, never missed a game. Missed an entire season, never missed another game. Tom Brady played every single game. Tore his ACL, hasn't missed a game since.
Okay, so?
I believe this is a very similar situation. Those were outlier seasons. I believe this is an outlier season. LeBron James got nicked. We hadn't seen anything like this because, Skip, what we're doing is that we're taking, well, we've never seen him hurt. We've never seen, yeah, he took 2 weeks off from his back, but nobody thought that, man, LeBron. But I'm looking at it. No one raised these questions about LeBron because he's still 34 now. No one raised these questions.
But you always make the case he's an old 34 because the mileage is severe. Because he's played in, when you get to 8 straight finals, you just keep playing more and more and more minutes than anybody's played.
But it's still purring like a kid. Okay. He's still going right on the lawn. Yes, he is. All them miles, and guess what? Can't get him off the road. Still on the road, still ticking along. Yep.
So Windhorst says that James's leadership this season hasn't been his finest. I would agree with that. Whether it's his behavior on the bench or his effort level on defense, we've all seen that. We all agree with that. But then he says, should you give him a break because he hasn't had those safety valve shooters around him the way he did in Cleveland or even back to his Miami days, right?
I love how LeBron gets safety valves. Nobody else has that. Nobody else is allowed to have teammates. Everybody's had teammates.
But you always say he needs snipers, right? That's what he does.
Skip, you and I in the beginning, when we saw this team start to come together, you and I questioned like, LeBron, hold on, wait a minute. Playmakers, you need shooters. You've always had shooters.
You know why I gave him a break on that? Because he was so great last year up to the finals, but his playoff run through the East was all time, man.
But he had Kevin Love was shooting threes. JR was shooting threes. Kyle Korver was shooting threes.
They went and got Jordan Clarkson to make some. We thought Rodney Hood could make some, but he didn't.
Even Green. Yeah. Jeff Green was all of a sudden started his three-point percentage started to tick up.
All right.
We look at these guys, they don't have guys that can shoot the three consistently.
Do you remember LeBron's first championship run? Do you remember Shane Battier one night in Oklahoma City, what he did? Do you remember what...
Mike Miller.
Do you know what Mike Miller did? Do you remember what Mario Chalmers did? Okay, they all had... Those three each had a game for the ages for them. Like a career game.
And then the next year they get Ray Allen.
Okay. All right. So you need those. So all Brian is saying is... Maybe you don't have those, but I gave LeBron a pass. I thought, well, he was so good at 33 that maybe at 34 he doesn't need that anymore. Maybe, and then again, Brian goes into the up-tempo style the Lakers were playing earlier this year. There was a big departure from his comfort zone. He's never done that before.
He
wants to walk the ball up the floor and make something happen, either by him driving the basketball or making the pass.
Because the thing that he was going up against in Golden State, Skip, is that you can't play that tempo. You can't get up and down because that style of pace isn't conducive because of the type of team that he has. Well, Magic went out and got a team that wants to push the pace, which he wasn't used to pushing the pace. And if you push the pace, Skip, you can't play 38 minutes a night, which they were asking him to do.
That's a very good point. And I used to come in early this year and just rave and bang the table. That's fun to watch. They were the most fun to watch team. That's for the first 2 months, maybe. And then the pace started to wane a little bit because you can't keep asking him to do that.
No, not at 34, Skip. With the minutes that's on his body, that's on those legs, you're going to ask him to play that style of pace and play 38 minutes, 40 minutes on some nights. That's asking a bit too much, even for LeBron James, as great as he's been, as well as he's taking care of his body. But I just believe...
And remember, Kuzma loved it. Lonzo loved it. Josh Hart loved it because they were their kids.
They're 23, 24.
But it was a lot of fun, man. Right? Even JaVale loved it, and he's a mid-aged player, but he could run up and down the floor.
Yeah, but he ain't got 10,000 minutes on those legs.
He doesn't.
But I just believe if we were to step back and just say, okay, LeBron is averaging 27, 8, and 8, and he's the fourth or fifth seed in the playoffs. Are we having this discussion whether or not this is an outlier season in terms of his health? I don't believe we are. I believe everything is centered around him missing the playoff. Skip, we've never missed the playoff. LeBron, LeBron James is worth 50 wins. They won 35 last year. He gonna give him at least 15 more because that's what happened. Miami, they increased 13, 15 games. He goes back to Cleveland, they increase. Now they come back here, they're basically the same as they were before he got there. So this is why, granted, he doesn't have the impact, but if you get him some shooters and all of a sudden let him give old Kyle Korver back to him. I'll take old Korver right now.
I don't think Utah wants to give him up.
Why not?
I don't know. They need him.
They do.
Okay, let's look at PER, player efficiency rating for one LeBron James. He went 6 straight seasons in the heart of his prime of his career, and he led the NBA in PER. That, most people don't know what the number means, but it was 30.3 on average. If you could get up in the 30s in PER, you are all-time, okay? So he averaged 30.3 for 6 straight seasons. This year, he's at 25.